Welcome to the Kellogg Admissions Application video series. In this video, we'll be talking about what we look for and how we evaluate our applicants. My name is Christy Heaton, and I've worked at Kellogg for 9 years. I've had the pleasure of working in admissions for our executive MBA program and also for our full-time program. I've also had the privilege of being a JV, what we call spouses, partners, and significant others here at Kellogg, as my husband was a 2005 graduate of the full-time program. In addition to working at Kellogg, I also worked at Progressive Insurance as an MBA recruiter, and I did all of the student programming and experience for the Chicago Booth London campus. I have 2 young kids and a puppy at home that keep me quite busy, so that's a little bit about me and who you'll be listening to during this video. So let's get to the stuff that you really want to learn about, how we evaluate our applicants here at Kellogg. I'm really proud to say that we have a holistic review process here at Kellogg. There's no one part of any application that makes or breaks an applicant. It really is about getting to know our candidates as a whole. We put no weights or percentages to any single category or attribute. It's really about the complete package. We review your application in full from start to finish, and we have lots of different inputs in our review process. We have student admissions readers who are evaluating the application through the lens of how will this applicant contribute in the classroom and in teams and in the community. We have staff admissions readers like myself who are evaluating you on a bigger picture and have a little bit more insight into the background to which you're coming from. And then we have director readers who are looking at your application within the context of the broader class and how your application fits within that class. Our goal in admissions is to create the most diverse class that we can and to make sure we're filling every seat with students who will really excel in the classroom and contribute to the community here. So let's talk a little bit about how we're looking at our candidates and what we're looking for in those applicants. Before I dive right into that, I think it's important to take a step back and to think about what is a Kellogg student. To us, Kellogg students are eager to dive in and collaborate and engage with their community. They appreciate diversity in their networks. They're not afraid to question their status quo. So this is the kind of person that we want at Kellogg. And if that's the kind of person that we want, how do we go about finding them? On the screen are all the different attributes that we're looking at and evaluating when we're reading an application. I'm going to spend a little bit of time going through each one specifically. Again, it's a holistic process, and there's no weight assigned to these specific categories. For intellectual ability, what we're really trying to determine and assess is, will this person thrive in the academic setting here at Kellogg? Will they be able to handle the rigor of the academic experience? To determine this, we look at several inputs. We take a look at your GMAT or your GRE score. We don't have a preference. We take a look at that overall score and then your subscores, hoping to see balance in those subscores. We take a look at your transcripts. We're looking at where you went to school, what classes you took, and what grades you received. We also look at your problem solving and critical thinking skills. These things tend to come through most in your letters of recommendation and your interview. We are a school that values work experience. We believe strongly that students coming with a requisite amount of work experience have the frameworks to apply the concepts they are learning in the classroom. We know that our students are coming across the spectrum of work experience. On average, our class has 5 years of work experience, but in any given year, it ranges from 2 to 12 years. So how are we looking at this work experience and evaluating our applicants? Well, it comes from a lot of different components within your application. We're looking at the application, the resume, your essays, your letters of recommendation, your interview, and through all of that, what we're trying to determine is how you have excelled in your career. Have you been promoted ahead of your peers? Have you been given stretch assignments? Have your roles been increasing in responsibility? Have you been able to move to different functional groups or within different organizations? So really trying to get an understanding of how you've excelled in your career as an individual. It's also really important to us to understand your career progression and to understand where you're wanting to go. To us at Kellogg, getting your MBA is not about just ticking a box. It's much more than that. We want to understand why this degree is the right one for you, and specifically why Kellogg is the right place for you to be doing it. We want to know your story, where you've been, where you want to go, and why Kellogg is the right place to help you get there. In this section, you'll be asked to talk about short-term and long-term goals and what really motivates you to those short-term and long-term goals. We take a look at your leadership experience. Again, this is something that we know is different for everybody coming to Kellogg. Every single applicant is at a different point in their leadership journey. We're looking for, specifically in the essays and the application, a demonstrated leadership experience where you've had that leadership role and what you've learned from it. But we're also looking for potential for leadership, right? As people are on different levels and in different areas within their leadership journey, what we want to understand is how much do you want to come to Kellogg and flex those muscles and really invest in yourself and leadership. It's a big part of the Kellogg journey. And so we're looking, as much as demonstrated, we're looking for potential as well. As much as we care about how well you'll exceed and excel in the academic setting, we also really care about what you're going to contribute and how you're going to be a part of our community. So through the process, we try to get to understand and learn more about you specifically. What are your hobbies, passions, and interests? What drives you outside of work? How are you involved in your community? And more specifically, how are you going to contribute to the community here at Kellogg? And then lastly, we're taking a look at your interpersonal skills. Here, we're not trying to determine if you're an introvert or an extrovert. We have both of those here at Kellogg. What we are trying to determine is how well you work in teams. Kellogg is a highly collaborative place. You're going to spend a lot of time and energy working with and learning from other people. And what we're trying to determine in the application process is how well you're going to fit within a community where teamwork and collaboration is at the center. My hope is that this has been insightful for you. If you're interested in learning more about the actual application and submitting your application and other tips and tricks, please watch the other videos in this series. And as always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our office.